The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, thank you for joining me today. My name is John Tukhachevsky. I'm the president and co-founder of FileCatalyst. I've been making webinars about FileCatalyst for the last 3 years or so. Sometimes it's a new feature, sometimes it's just a review of what we do. Well, today I'm very pleased to announce that we released FileCatalyst version 3.72 just before the NAB show in Las Vegas, and this is where we unveiled it. And I'm very happy today to show you some of the new features that went into 3.72, so you have a better understanding where FileCatalyst is going with our fast file transfer technology. If you're interested in what we do, we have a blog, and elsewhere you can go to our past webinars, and you can also view the webinars from our website. Every webinar is archived and available on that page if you're interested in a specific product or technology. So I'm going to give you today a quick corporate overview for those that haven't heard of us or haven't worked with us. I'm going to give you a quick direct architectural deployment, how it's deployed, once again for the newbies. And then we're going to jump right away to the thick of things. We're going to talk about what's new in 3.7.2. I'm going to be showing you a whole bunch of demos. And at the end, we'll be going through questions. If you have any questions during my presentation, please feel free to go to the GoToWebinar questions and ask them there. And I will periodically check the questions pane to see if there's anything. And at the end, I will respond to all the questions. If you have any questions of technical nature, like the sound is bad or the video is bad, well, do let me know in those questions, and I'll try to address it if it's happening during the webinar. So FileCatalyst, what we do, our main goal, our main purpose for our software is to provide enterprise-grade file transfer solutions. So we're not talking here about single home users that want to share a video of their vacation. We're talking here about professionals and enterprises that move huge amount of data internationally to make their business work on a daily basis. Our patented accelerated file transfer technology uses UDP, which makes us immune to latency and packet loss on those big international links. We specialize really transferring files over fat pipes, meaning you have fast speeds, and we optimize that speed. So instead of you purchasing maybe even more bandwidth, you can use the existing fat pipe and move more data through it. We make our solutions as simple as possible for the end users, keeping the enterprise in mind. A lot of our solutions, for example, will can be deployed within any existing enterprise environment, and can be monitored and configured all by the owners of the application. So in a nutshell, we're like a Dropbox will give you one account. We will give you the entire system to run a Dropbox-like system on your enterprise infrastructure. We concentrate a lot on integrating with, as I said, integrating with the enterprise infrastructure. So we have options like connectivity with LDAP, Active Directory, SNMP traps if you want to connect this to your enterprise management console. We provide all the security and management and monitoring tools to make sure that all the net file transfers are going as fast as possible and notify you if something goes wrong. Finally, what we do, we also work a lot with different cloud vendors. We have integrations with Amazon, OpenStack, and Windows Azure, and lots of very new cloud vendors that we've added in 3.7.2. which I'll be talking about in a few minutes. But that's in a nutshell what we do. So if you have a business and your business requires to transfer large files fast and lots of data to lots of points, this is where we come in and we can help you with that. And that's what our software does. Once again, we do specialize in off-the-shelf software where we will provide you the solution as off the shelf. You can just install it, configure it, and run with it. We do also have some professional services where if you want to customize a version or build a system right up from ground up from scratch, we can also help you with that. But it's all about business in mind. We've worked with a lot of different clients over the years. I think we have over 1,000 business customers using our software. Here's sort of a partial list. We work a lot in the media and entertainment space, but also in other verticals like oil and gas. We work as well in manufacturing. We work in legal and military applications as well. So we have a lot of deployments, but I would say probably media and entertainment is the biggest one, followed by probably supercomputing or like oil and gas and genomics would be sort of our second biggest vertical. And then we have, you know, a bunch of deployments in, as you see here, some manufacturing, some legal, and research. So today we'll be talking about FileCatalyst Direct. So what is FileCatalyst Direct? Well, it's a file transfer acceleration suite of applications. We provide a suite of applications. So we provide you a server application and a whole bunch of client applications. So let's concentrate here very quickly on a server. So server, this is where you manage your system. This is where everything's connected to your central repository of data, either through a NAS or a SAN, or it could be connected to a cloud. And then you have different named users that connect to different folders on your storage and either upload the data to the server or download the data from the server. On the other side, so this is on one side. On the other side of the network, we'll provide you with the client applications. We give you 5 different kinds or flavors because there are different use cases. So, for example, we'll provide you a hot folder, which is an automation tool. This will be able to say, hot folder, check for new files locally stored in a folder here, and let's say every hour, any new files, push them to a specific folder in your storage. And vice versa, you can have hot folder also polling files remotely and downloading these files, only new files to the data. So it's a tool for replication, for moving new data. It's also the tool that we use for our growing files, which you know, a file that hasn't finished being written yet. So I'm talking here like a camera file or a transcoding file for video. Those files can be moved while they are still growing. We have a desktop app very similar to FileZilla. When you have two panes, local pane and a remote pane, and you can move files manually between the server and the client. Browser-based, we have a lot of different browser options available. Our main tool is called Transfer Agent for the web. Transfer Agent comes as an upload, download, or a two-way tool. It also comes with a JavaScript API, so you can write your own applications. And it also comes with a web link, or a link ability. So if you want to send a link to a specific file that is sitting on your storage here, you can use Transfer Agent, pick that file, this link. This will create like a URL link that then can be emailed to any user for pickup. Mobile, if you go to your iTunes, or if you go to iTunes here or Google Play, you'll find our FileCatalyst application, and you'll be able to upload and download files from that app to the server. And SDK is everything that is automation and scripting. So that includes command line Java API, C++ API, .NET, the JavaScript side of things as well. All of this is included in the this is all what we include in the SDK side of things. All right, so what's new in 3.7.2? So before I jump into feature by feature, I just wanted to give you a little bit of history of 3.7.2. So we started the 3.7.2 project, it was probably in the fall, I think it was like October, when we started writing the requirements and preparing for 3.7.2. We were building features all up till, I would say, through Christmas break, and in January I think we completed all the features for 3.7.2. Then we started our testing cycle with it, and in February we took 3.7.2 to Korea with us to do the Olympics. So during the Winter Olympics, I think we moved 350 terabytes of data in 2 weeks and 200,000 files with this version of 3.7.2. We did this work for NBC Sports, and this is when we were starting to be very happy with the stability of the product. So once we came back from Korea with this, we learned our lessons, cleaned up some the quirks that we found, and then we released this in early March as the 3.7.2 build, just before NAB, which was 2 weeks ago, and this is where we unveiled it officially. So the product has been really extensively tested through our QA cycle, through our presence in Olympics in Korea, and pretty much every single application was touched, rebuilt and refreshed. Well, everything in the FileCatalyst Direct suite, that image that I showed you before, everything here was refreshed and renewed. So whether it's the server, Central, or all the client applications, everything got a new touch. So what's new? I mean, if I go to our website here, and if you go to our support site, you can get the release notes. See here, release notes for Direct. The page is huge of changes. If I were to go through every single change we made since in 3.7.2, I'll be sitting here for a day and probably make most of you fall asleep. So I just picked sort of the bigger features so you can see what we've done. So I mean, the release notes gives you the details, but I'm not going to go through every single nitty-gritty detail and feature we've done. Ultimately, I just noticed here that something that we did is that the Java 7 is no longer supported in 3.7.2. So if you're running FileCatalyst Direct Server and you have Java 7, you'll have to upgrade your Java before you can upgrade FileCatalyst Direct Server. So just keep that in mind if you're upgrading in the future. So here are some of the broad strokes. So what we're doing is HTML admins. So in the past, every application was running, every FileCatalyst application was running like a hot folder or a server was running in this sort of called what we call Java Swing GUI. So it was all Java Swing. It was a Java desktop application. It was very hard to maintain, and we still have it in 3.7.2. We haven't stopped it yet, but everything is running in this type of look and feel, as you can see for hot folder. What we did in 3.7.2 is if I go here, we webified it. So every application is now going to be able to run on a web page. So what's important here to know is that all the features that were in those Swing GUIs are being ported to HTML. And I think by the time we have the next version coming out in 3.8, we're going to be completely getting rid of the Swing UIs or all this interface. So I recommend that you start using the HTML side of things to get used to it, because otherwise, once we cut off, you're not going to have a chance to go back. Now, this is the version where you can go back and forth and use one or the other. And also, if you don't like something, you can recommend or specify what you don't like about the HTML admin. But the path is that HTML is going to be the only administration tool moving forward. So this is the only version where you have the chance to try both. And then the next versions are going to come out only with one. So that's this is sort of, I'm showing you here the admin interface of server, but you'll have the same thing on a hot folder as well if you go here. See, this is the hot folder running in HTML. The nice part of this, it can run remotely, it can run from anywhere, and you can try it. So just checking here if there's any questions. I don't see anything, so I'll continue my my presentation. So this is one of the big changes, is that the HTML GUIs are there, and they are here to stay. The Java UI is going away. So please start using the HTML UIs, because this is the only version where you'll have the option to have both. So another thing we've added is an HTTP uploader. So I'll talk about this uploader in a bit. I have a demo of it set up. We also added a reverse proxy. So we already had a proxy, but we refreshed it. We changed it. We've changed a lot of things. We added a service script so you can run it as a service. We solidified it. It's a much more robust product now than it was in the past. I'll show you a bit of the deployment, how it's supposed to work. So if you look at So what's the reverse proxy? Well, normal deployment of FileCatalyst Direct server requires some ports open to the internet, of course. So the clients can connect and transfer data. So here's how normal deployment would work. You have your FileCatalyst Direct server sitting in your DMZ. You'll have your firewall for the internet, and then you have the clients remotely connecting. And those clients need to connect on port 21 for control, or any other port you can configure, you want to configure, and then port 8000 to 8999 for TCP/UDP for data. So this data port range is quite large, and then this has to be opened through the firewall and configured to be sent to the FileCatalyst Direct server. So this is the traditional thing. On between the connectivity between DMZ and LAN, what you have, and so let's say if you have your Active Directory or you have your SAN connected on the LAN, you would have to open pinholes here as well, because there's another firewall between DMZ and LAN. So now you would have to open pinholes, and same thing if you want to connect an internal client, you would have to open that port and the port range. SAN would require a port. So this type of administration is not ideal for highly secured environments, because now your SAN has to be exposed in your DMZ, which is not ideal. So what reverse proxy does is, in essence, it puts a sort of like a ghost FileCatalyst Direct server in DMZ. And so here's how I explain it. So you have your FileCatalyst Direct server now running in LAN. So you don't need any ports open to get to your storage area network, your internal clients, your Active Directory LDAP. There's nothing needed here because the FileCatalyst Direct server is sitting on the LAN. From the LAN, from the FileCatalyst Direct server running on the LAN, you connect to a FileCatalyst Direct reverse proxy, which is like a ghost process. It's a process that mimics the behavior of FileCatalyst Direct server, but it's not really the server. It's just relays the information, and it has very minimal capabilities. So when the one client connects now, it still connects through port 21 and in the port range like you had before, and this connects to the reverse proxy. But now the reverse proxy has no connectivity back to the server. So it's the server that has to make an outgoing connection over port 1080 to the reverse proxy. So now on your firewall, before you had to have all these other ports open for your SAN, DMZ, other clients. Now the only port you need to connect, it's an outgoing port 1080 from FileCatalyst Direct server to the reverse proxy. And this quite nicely cleans up your security model between DMZ and LAN. Once again, this is for larger deployments where security is of concern. So we had this product for about the last 3 years or so, the reverse proxy, but we've really made it much more solid and increased performance of it as well, and documented it and added service scripts. So anyways, it just got a big it got a big refresh, and it's now we feel like it's a full-fledged product, and it's actually available. Before it was more like a beta that we had, and now it's fully released and ready for production. So better bandwidth distribution. So that's been a complaint for a lot of our clients. So let's say we have FileCatalyst Direct servers licensed by bandwidth. So let's say someone has a 100 megabit license of FileCatalyst server. Right in previous versions, when a client logged in and let's say did a directory listing, it wasn't transferring any files. It was just doing a directory listing. The bandwidth allocation would be still given, the client would be still given bandwidth allocation from the license. So let's say if you have 10 clients connecting, you have a 100 megabit server, and 9 of them are doing directory listings, well then the one that is transferring files was only going to get 10 megabits. Now the clients that are not intending to transfer any files are not going to be taking away the bandwidth. So in essence, you're just getting a more efficient bandwidth distribution. The clients that are transferring files will be taking away that from that 100 megabit license, but the clients that are just doing directory listings or making sure the connection works, or like test diagnostics, or the ones that are doing just FTP transfers, will not be taking away from your bandwidth, which is a big improvement. You'll see, especially for those that have a bit smaller, slower licenses, well, we should see an improvement in speed, because the smaller bandwidth will be not split up as much as it used to be. We also added something called priority bump, which I'll talk in a second, but it's the idea when a hot folder is transferring files, you can see the list of files still in the queue, and then you can prioritize them. I'll show you a demo in a second. We added something called application diagnostics for easier debugging. So that's in all our software now. All the transfer agent, server, and hot folder have this option. So on the server, this is how it works. Hold on one second. So on the server side, all you have to do is go to Help, About FileCatalyst, and you have to hit this diagnostic report. And then I'm going to do Open log location, and I'll go to FileCatalyst server, and then you're going to have a new folder up here called Diagnostics. And what this does, it creates a zip file with all the information that our support team needs to debug your problem. So this will take a memory dump of the FileCatalyst server, so we can actually see exactly what was in memory, what was the problem. It also rips out all your configuration information, detects any deadlocks, packages your database. So this, for us, this one file basically allows us to fully troubleshoot your problems. It's a lot faster. This used to take probably 10-15 minutes to gather all the information to send it to us. Now with one click, you have that zip file that can be then uploaded to us. We have our own file transfer service for support, where those large zip files can be sent. And if you go to the support portal, you actually find the link to send those files to us. If you go to the release notes here, you can go upload ticket files. There you go. If you go to upload ticket files, you can enter your information, which ticket ID you're entering, and then you can upload those large zip files right directly from our support portal. So we can have a much smoother and faster turnaround for debugging. So this is something, if you're upgrading and you have any problems with 3.7.2, this is the way to go. So new cloud integrations. So for new cloud, we already had Azure S3. We've added an OpenStack. What we added a whole bunch of new cloud integrations to OpenStack native. So the first iteration of OpenStack used their S3 library, which was a little slow and kludgy. It wasn't working very well. So then we did a native one, which is much faster and more responsive. We added a Wasabi interface. We added Oracle Cloud interface. We added Google Cloud or Google Storage and Backblaze. So I'll show you in a minute how this looks, but this gives you an idea. We also added ability to do a billing per gigabyte. So instead of buying a perpetual license from us, that could be which is a high upfront cost, we added the ability that you can now license this the software through. You can license the software by just supplying your credit card to us. We'll give you a special license key that will identify with our licensing server, and we'll be billing you per gig. So this gives you a cost here per gig. So your cost here is zero. You basically get the full software for free, and then we meter you, and there's at the end of the month there is a bill. Well, it's not really a bill. You have to have the money up front in credits up front in your account. But this is for the cost per gig is it's still going to be much higher than if you buy a perpetual license. We did some math, and in some places it's a lot less expensive to buy a perpetual license. But when you have a smaller deployments where you have maybe you're moving 300 gigs once a month, this will be a lot more cost effective than buying a full-fledged license. Or if you just want to see the adoption of this software, so you want to install it, try it for a few months and see if it's used and how it's used, then this is good, because the minimal startup fee is really $200, and you can get started using this software and then just pay per gig. So this is on the license side that we've made that change in 3.7.2. We also added Amazon and Azure per hour deployments. So if you go to our cloud, link that I provided you there, you have different providers that we have build a per hour billing. So for example, if you go to Amazon Web Services, you can start a FileCatalyst Direct license on AWS EC2, and you pay an hourly fee instead of buying again a perpetual license. So this gives you a better control of your spend. Instead of buying a perpetual license, you can try this, judge the adoption, see how it works, and then move to a perpetual license once you see how important this type of software becomes for you in your environment. So the nice part here with the cloud vendors is that you don't even need hardware. Hardware is provided through the cloud vendor. We provide the software, and you pay one common license fee of $2 an hour, for example, to run this. So that's another option we've added here. Improve transfer agent installer, and then central stability improvements are the what I was talking about, is that we've had central for quite some time now. We had a huge launch of it in 2017, and now we just made it more stable and faster as well for your use. So if you go to, let me just close some tabs here from my demo. if you go to Central now, you still have the ability to load the maps, and you can have a map of USA or a world map, and you can transfer files. You can transfer files. When you're transferring files, you can monitor the links, and you can see the notes, and yes, well, you have the reporting enabled, so you can see exactly what's going on with your system. Central can also send you notifications if something goes wrong in your system. So let's say if a file transfer fails, you can have an SNMP trap sent to your management console, which then could trigger a manual intervention of the transfers. But it's a visibility layer of your FileCatalyst deployment, where you can customize your look and feel. You can customize your reports and really know what's going on. So, my example here is very simple. I have only 2 nodes, but a lot of our clients will have sometimes 30 nodes or 40 nodes connected to it, and then it becomes pretty complicated how to see all of this and how to manage it and how to visualize what's happening. And this tool is definitely useful for this. I'm not sure if I mentioned about the application diagnostics or if the sound cut off, but that's something we've added in 3.7.2. It's the ability to go into your diagnostics here. If you go to About, and you can do a diagnostics report from any of our product, either server, hot folder, transfer agent. And then if I open the logs here, diagnostics, here's the zip file. And this is the zip file you can send directly to our support to get, we can directly see right away into all your memory, into your logs. We can see your database, your configuration, and we can very quickly turn around and make fixes because we get everything in one glance. Before, this used to take like 15-20 minutes to gather all of this. Now this is all done in one click, and we get all this information. So I kind of been going here through, sorry with the sound issues, I kind of been going through the demos as I'm going through this list. So the HTML admins, I kind of already showed them. I will not go through them again, but HTTP upload here, let me just show you that one quickly. So if you open up your FileCatalyst Direct server, and you go to, this is the hot folder. Let me just minimize this here. There we go. There you go. So if you go to HTTP settings here on the FileCatalyst server, you click on this link, you're brought into this screen that says Manage Applications. So this is going to show you the remote admin that I already talked about. Or you can go to Transfer Files, and here we have a few options. We already had the link and the download and the upload. I think the Express is new, and the Upload HTTP. So let me show you Upload HTTP because that is a new feature. So if I can log in as any user defined on a direct server, and this brings me to a native HTTP upload. So this upload doesn't require a transfer agent. It doesn't require any plugins. It will work within any browser, modern-ish browser that you want. So I can just select a file here and click on Start Upload. And now I'm uploading this file. So the nice part of this tool is that we made it very modular. So if you have web applications that need HTTP native uploads, you can very easily include this this widget, this upload widget in your applications. It's literally just a JavaScript include. You got to do set a couple of parameters, and you're ready to go. This tool will also, do a redirect of success. It will send you file names. It will send you the file sizes. So all this stuff can be very easily integrated, or you can use it on its own. Like you have users that cannot install transfer agent. Well, now they can send you files without, albeit it's without acceleration, but they can send you files right away. this tool, for those that are a little familiar with our FileCatalyst workflow product, this HTTP native upload tool has been in workflow for the last probably 8 years. We just decoupled it from there, put it into Direct, made it so it's expandable by other web developers, and plugged it in here. So this gives you an idea how this works. Uh, so that's one of the features. So another one I wanted to show you was the priority bump. So the priority bump. So I'm going to start a transfer here in my hot folder. For those that are familiar, this is the automation tool. And I'm going to do activity view. And now my transfer is going here. So now I have a little button here, edit file priority. It will show me the list of files still to send. So I can type in install FC hot folder, increase priority. And now this will be the next file that is going to go in a transfer. So I can do this a number of times for whatever I want, and I can increase priorities and transfer as many files. So this gives me very quickly, before if I wanted to transfer a given file in a hot folder faster, I would have to almost set up another task to do it. Now I can do it all right within this interface. What's another thing is that we also added this on the HTML admin side. So if you go to manage application, this is the same view here. I can do activity, and I can do edit file priority here. It's the same view. So let's say I want to upgrade 7, filter, and boom. So this one is increased, this one is going to go next. So you can see I can do this from the web interface and the Swing GUI. Once again, this is to give people time to get used to our HTML admins, and you can see the priority bump is very useful for those tasks where you have, oh, where is this file? I really need it right now. Well, you don't have to stop anything. You can just increase a priority of one file and it goes. TA installer. So we've had the link product for quite some time. Let me just show you here the link product. So close this, close this. We can close this. So if you go to email link, I'm going to show you the new installer here. So right now, what's going to happen is that when you go to the link ability, so a couple of things that change here. For example, here you can see a custom logo now. Before, the logo was always just a static FileCatalyst Direct FileCatalyst logo. They can upload your own logo to the service. The same logo actually appears in the email sent out by the service as well. So if I show it to you here, this is the same logo that appears in the email. So this is something that we've added in this version. Another thing what we did is the improvement of installing. So if I click on download here, it now actually shows me what to do. It tells me, oh, by the way, download transfer agent. Click here on this button to get the system going. The installer of transfer agent doesn't require admin rights. It was also now what we've built to it is ability to I guess I could call it repackage it. So if you're a large enterprise and you want to push transfer agent to all your desktops, we can help you to build like an MSI image of it. So this is what you would do with the custom installation. So you essentially be creating a silent installer of transfer agent that then you can push to all the enterprise desktops for those that are running in big corporations. For a regular user, just selecting basic installation, no admin rights required, accept a few steps. But you can essentially repackage this installer now with the way we've rebuilt it. So this installs the transfer agent. And click on next. And that launches it automatically. The installer launches it. And I'm in. And now I have to do is just put in my username and password. And I'm ready to send files. So here's an example. I uploaded some files. I can select files to be sending via email link. And I can upload some files as well. This is the traditional email link that I've done before. I can put an email address. I can put a comment here, and I can send these files to anybody. So here I'm sending these files to John at FileCatalyst.demo. It shows you the link right here as well. You can copy and paste this link and send it in an email, but the system also sends out an email. And the recipient has to just click on the download link feature here, and they can download the files. And I can see the recipient is downloading the files. So you can turn any file into a link, any directory into a link, and you can. The installation of the transfer agent is very streamlined now and very simple for those. For those that cannot install transfer agent at all, we have the HTTP upload tool, and as well we have the ability that if the transfer agent is not installed on a download side, they can still download the files via HTTP. There's no acceleration, but it will work directly for that. So for cloud storage, the last thing I wanted to show you, and that's how the transfer agent is installed. Sorry, not the transfer agent, the cloud. So right now, when you go to create file systems, so you can have local file system, you can have Samba or SMB for NFS mounts, and you can have cloud. So for cloud, you can also have a memory one, for example, for very, very fast transfers. But we added a whole bunch of options here now. So you have Amazon, Azure, Backblaze, Google Cloud Storage, OpenStack Swift, OpenStack Swift 3, which is the native one, Oracle Cloud Storage, SMB, Wasabi. So you can see the ability to mount foreign clouds, object stores is growing, and we'll continue to be adding some new ones in the next versions as well. So I think that's it for my presentation. I do have some time for questions. So for those that are watching the recorded session, I just want to say thank you very much.